Salam alaikum, shalom, my dear friends. I'm very happy to be with you, and I would like to thank the organisers of this conference for their kind invitation to speak to you today. I have chosen to speak on the subject non-violence, the way forward for the human family. I am deeply conscious that many Palestinians have committed their lives to working for a non-violent solution to the Israeli-Palestinian problem, and they are committed to non-violence Palestinian resistance to resist the wall and the Israeli occupation. I fully support this movement, as I believe that all forms of non-violent resistance to the wall are legal, as the wall itself contravenes international law, including the International Court of Justice decision in The Hague. I believe the separation wall is a monument to fear and failed politics. I am looking forward to joining you in non-violent resistance at the wall. I am aware that there is a strong Palestinian tradition of non-violent resistance, and your history records that Palestinians responded to the Israeli occupation with a well-organised non-violent resistance movement. I am aware too the risks attached to participating in this movement, as at demonstrations, etc., many are targeted by the police and picked up later, being charged with being at demonstrations, and their confessions are used to pick up others that they name under duress. Some are Palestinian children, 14 years or so. This practice by Israeli security should cease immediately if there is to be any hope for peace. Yet you continue in your struggle in spite of daily hardships, checkpoints, oppression and humiliation in trying to do the basic things of life, like getting to work, educating and feeding your children. I believe for many Palestinians, daily living is so hard, it is indeed an act of resistance. I thank you all for this. I am honoured to join in solidarity with you in your rightful demand for equality, freedom and the upholding of human dignity through the full implementation of UN resolutions, human rights and international law, which are currently being broken and violated by the Israeli government. I believe the European Council and all governments of the EU should recognise the Palestinian government and cancel all economic, social and political restrictions that have been placed upon it. The EU Council and governments of the European Union should recognise the opportunity to revive the peace process with Israel and Palestinian governments. I fully support and encourage you to continue in peaceful organising, protest and resist, and continue to build your non-violent grassroots people's movement, which will be the cornerstone of a new Palestine, Israel and a new Middle East. I'm conscious that there are many international peace activists here in Bil'in and in the occupied territories. The inspirational work of the international solidarity movement is well known, and I would like to thank them for this work. I would also like to pay tribute to all peace activists who come from many countries to join in solidarity and support with those suffering injustice. These activists are people of courage with hearts of compassion, and they have the wisdom to know that an injustice to one is an injustice to all and must be non-violently resisted until justice and peace is established. They pay a high price in stepping out of their comfort zones into highly militarised, dangerous situations. Sometimes much is asked of them, as in the case of Rachel Curry, who gave her life protesting the demolition of Palestinian homes by Israeli military. But it is the Rachels of this world who remind us that we are responsible for each other, and we are interconnected in a mysterious, spiritual and beautiful way as the human family. Recognising this, and we are the human family, each one of us has to stretch beyond self-interest or the concern of just our own family, friends, community, religion, culture, nature, and seek ways in which we can help the whole community of life on earth protect our earth, which is our communal home. These courageous people, disarmed in mind and heart, and coming armed only with love to serve, in organisations such as ISM, the Israeli Peace Movement, Christian Peacemakers, Rabbis for Human Rights and Against the Demolition of Palestinian Homes, Doctors Without Borders, and many NGOs show us it is possible for each of us to move beyond selfishness, tribalism, nationalism, and identify with the whole family on earth today. This movement of non-violent people united in working for justice and equality, and irrespective of nationality or religion, unarmed and willing to take risks protecting civilians in danger, is one of the most helpful and inspiring and hopeful movements of our time. I myself am very hopeful for the future of the Middle East. I first visited Israeli Palestine at the invitation of the Rabbis for Human Rights and Against the Demolition of Palestinian Homes. I stood in the ruins of Palestinian homes, and I sat at the military trial of Abu Fayaz, a Palestinian father of 13 children whose only crime was to build a home for his family. Since then, I have returned many times to participate in various ecumenical and peace activities. I also support people here working for a Middle East nuclear weapon-free zone and the abolition of war. From where do I get my hope? From the people of this place and those Israeli-Palestinian peace activists who believe passionately that given justice and equality for all its citizens, peace and human security is possible in this holy land. I take hope too from the courage of the young Israeli reservists who, following their conscience, have refused military duty in the territories. I hope that more British and USA soldiers will follow their conscience and refuse to participate in the current USA-UK immoral and illegal invasion and occupation of Iraq, and further unnecessary and illegal wars, including any threats to the people of Iran, so that the much continued unnecessary suffering and death by so many people will be avoided. But I have watched too those in the resistance movements who believe that justice will only come through violence, and their frustration, pain and anger have turned to armed resistance, suicide bombs, etc. Suicide bombs tragically take the life of those who use them, and have taken the lives of many Israeli people and others, and such actions can never be justified.